Today we're talking about one of the most common mistakes wedding photographers make. What's up guys? Welcome back to our channel. If you are new around here, I'm Veronica. My husband and I own a photography and videography business specializing in luxury weddings and events. And I'm sure that you will see his face around here. So if you haven't seen his videos, go check them out. He does a lot of gear talk, a lot of tips and tricks for video. But today we are talking about one of the most common mistakes wedding photographers can make on a wedding day. This mistake can happen throughout the entire wedding day, but one of the most common times that this will happen is during getting ready. And that is simply photographing in a mixed light situation. This is one of the reasons why I always like to arrive early on our wedding days. I come in, I greet our couple, I say hello, but then I will take that opportunity to scout out the getting ready area. And I will walk through each individual space to make sure I can find the best spot for getting the gown on or getting ready and getting those good shots with good light. Good light is the key, not mixed light. When you're shooting in a mixed light situation, you might have a lamp on or an overhead light on mixed with natural window light. So it could be a blue cast from the window light, but then a really warm cast from the lamp, and that just looks muddy and not consistent. So my biggest tip is to find the good light with good natural light, hopefully by a window. And then if there are lamps or overhead lights on, turn those off. And sometimes they're necessary for hair and makeup and that sort of thing. But when the time comes to start photographing your client in the good light and getting dressed, make sure to turn off those overhead lights and those lamps. Okay, so you're looking at your spot, you're looking in your space, and you're like, oh no, the space where they want to do the getting ready does not have any windows, it doesn't have good light. And this is where I encourage you to set yourself up as an authority and choose a different space. So when you're walking around, just say, hey, this spot has good light, and I know that it's not the spot originally that you wanted, but your client will trust you. That's why they hired you, to get good photos and good natural light. So I recommend moving things. If I need to move furniture, I will move furniture, and I will make it work by a good window or a good spot that's clean, looks good, and I know I'm gonna get solid images for getting ready. If you've made a lot of effort to find a good spot with good lighting and you've had to move furniture, that sort of thing, move your clients from one room to another to ensure you're getting good, consistent images, I recommend staying there. Don't overthink it. Stay there as long as you possibly can to get all of those getting ready shots. If you need to photograph the mother of the bride or something like that, use that same spot and just swap people in and out. Don't fray from the good light. Stay in it for as long as possible. Sometimes if you're in the client's home and there's a lot of pictures on the wall or decor that just isn't really fitting the vibe or the style of the wedding day, that's okay. All you really need is a little corner to put your client in next to a window. I don't recommend taking the client outside for getting ready photos. I've seen that a lot in the past. I think that's another common mistake that we can make. And the reason why I feel like that doesn't work is because you're naturally not going to be getting ready outside. You're going to be getting ready inside a space. So we want to keep things as organic and authentic as possible when photographing a wedding. So I don't recommend going outside or taking your client outside, even though the light is going to be great outside. Find a tiny space that you can make work inside that's clean next to a window that you can photograph your client. Because after all, who really gets dressed outside on their wedding day? Probably not a lot of people. We like to keep things real and authentic for our clients, so we will make it work and move things and take things off the wall if we need to. All we really need is a window and good light. So the main tips to take away from this video are: turn off all your lamps and overhead lighting to make sure you're not getting mixed light for getting ready photos. Find a window and find good light and stick to it. All right guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.